I thought we would try taking it on the road. Take our show on the road. Take our act on the road. I'm
Okay,
driving.
that's a good idea, I think.
What's going on, Tom?
What? Oh, I'm just kind of you're freezing up and stuff on the screen, so it makes me think that your internet connection might not be great in your Toyota Corolla or whatever.
I don't know what happened.
What happened?
I got kicked out.
Well, you're still in there. I mean, like as far as I can tell.
I went back in.
Okay. That must be a special feature of the Riverside FM podcast application. This is what I think about it, is that your internet connection sucks in your car. That Tesla that you're driving doesn't have very good.
Unbelievable. I got kicked out again.
Yeah, I think that it's the Tesla car that you're driving probably is not playing nice with the internet.
I need one of the new Teslas. So what I was going to say is I'm at Costco with my kids the other day, and we're in a hurry.
There you go again, Dan Quayle. It's either, I think it's a combination of the lackluster service of the Riverside FM application and the Tesla that you're driving.
This is ridiculous. I got kicked out again.
Well, but wait a second. On my screen now, there are like 5 different versions of you. Me too. Oh yes, I agree. Pixel.
Well, it's arguing with Tom and Jerry. Arguing.
I'm Tom.
I'm Jerry.
Arguing with Tom and Jerry. Arguing.
He's Tom.
And he's Jerry.
So we had a comment. We had a comment on episode 7 from J. Rod, and it says, I'm pretty sure that a down-and-out Wall Street investor would pull a large fish out of his Santa suit and have it all up in his beard, not a turkey leg. I don't remember ever saying that he pulled a fish out and had it all up into his turkey leg.
I think maybe he's saying that you were wrong, and that it was a fish, not a turkey leg, that was in his beard.
We also had a bunch of comments with people saying that they wondered if I was a drug addict because of the way I was moving my jaw around. And what was happening is I had put chapstick on, and so I was
I got you.
I was rubbing the chapstick in, not jonesing for crack.
But that's not the only. I mean, that's not saying you aren't a drug addict.
No, that doesn't prove that I'm not.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was wondering who you think invented crack cocaine.
Marion Barry?
That's a good guess. It's a good guess. It's that's the I think that's the transitive property that you're using there. I don't know. I guess I was wondering if you felt like the Mexican drug cartels invented crack cocaine, or
something I have never thought about it.
Or you've never even thought about who invented it. Like it just appeared like out of nowhere.
I never thought about it. I guess if I thought about it, I would have thought that probably cocaine was been around forever. I mean, it was used as medicine. It was in Coca-Cola.
Well, Coca has been used forever. Cocaine would be a step beyond that. Then crack cocaine would be a step
another
beyond
step,
that.
right?
Yeah. So
I figured it's just like a dirtier, cheaper way of getting,
yeah, dirty and cheap.
I mean, Fauci invented AIDS, right?
Yes.
So,
and was
that before or after crack?
That's a good one. That's a great one. What a beautiful timeline. What came first, the crack or the AIDS? The AIDS, the chicken, and the chicken made the AIDS.
Exactly.
Right.
That just rolls off your tongue.
Right. I was thinking about conspiracy theories, and I don't believe in many of them, although
I believe in all of them.
I read about a lot of them, and I was thinking the ones that I believe in are right.
Yeah, I believe in all of them, and I think that I feel the same way. They're all right. Right wing. Right wing.
Yeah, the right wing conspiracy theories are the ones.
It's kind of a rhetorical thing to say, really.
Well, I'm gonna put it out there. I believe that the American government distributed crack cocaine into America in an effort to provide funding for the Contras in Central America. What do you think about that?
I have no reason to doubt it. It's not anything I've ever read about or looked into at all.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that the ends justified the means?
No, I don't believe in that. I believe the opposite. I mean, I think that's like saying that's like an attitude of like, well, I know I'm going to heaven, and then you don't care. Like, what about all the day to day? What about the interaction with individuals? What about stop and smell the roses? So we spend all our time focusing on the ends, and we get all worked up with anxiety and depression and stress, and then you go to a therapist or something, and they tell you got to pay attention to the small stuff. You need to learn mindfulness. You need to pay right here, right now. Look at something in your vicinity. What colors do you see? What sounds do you hear? Meditate. It's like the opposite of the ends.
That's weak. Yeah, that's a very weak kind of like approach to life. I wanted to take a minute to thank our sponsors. We had a couple sponsors come through after the last episode. Carnival Cruise Lines. I'd like to thank Carnival Cruise Lines. They liked the
last segment.
Yeah, and Guitar Center. Guitar Center also popped in and threw us some cash for promoting them. We're starting to blur the lines a little bit. We are still just a podcast, but we're also influencers. And so when I need some guitar cables or a shitty Gibson made in the 2020s, then I'll probably go to Guitar Center or
for those kinds of needs.
Yeah, I mean that's if you guys are out there and wondering like, hey, I'd like to get a shitty Gibson guitar made in the 2020s by a factory without any quality assurance, where do I go get those kinds of things? Guitar Center. Guitar Center is a place to go.
Hey, I would like to, if we could, have a moment of silence for all victims of all things. That's probably good enough.
Okay. I like it. I was thinking it's voting season, and so I've always had this theory that it would be nice if we could, as part of our voting regimen as a democracy or a democratic republic, I could assign the percentage of my taxes that are given to each of the different departments of the government.
Each voter gets to say where they want their tax dollars to go.
Correct. I hate the immigrants. I want to give money to border protection or whatever department that falls under.
And you wouldn't have to have hate as part of your rationale for where you decide.
Well, I see them as a threat. I see them as a threat. Or you might be a person who works on the basis of love. Like, I love public education, and so I'm going to.
Well, you could say I love illegal immigrants, and I want all my tax dollars to go to illegal immigrants.
You could say that the illegal immigrant department.
We think Joe Biden jump around all over the place. We could try and go, stick to one topic.
Well, I wasn't jumping topics. I mean, the topic are the departments of the
I think it's a
government.
great idea. I love the idea.
You do?
It's like back when you remember when you were in your early 20s or late teens, and money's hard to come by, and you wanted to watch certain shows or a football game or something like that, and so you had to get cable, but you had to pay like $80 a month, and it was a bunch of channels you didn't want at all, and there's channels out there that you did want, but then they cost more on top of it, and you just wanted to pick the channels that you wanted.
Right.
It's like that. It's the same thing.
That didn't work out so well. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Congress owns the purse strings, but the American public should own the purse strings.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen, because the way it is now, your representative is supposed to decide where your tax dollars go, right? They're supposed to be representing you, and they
Right.
decide, and it's supposed to be in your best interest, and if it's not, you'll vote them out. That's the idea.
That's the idea. That's exactly
Instead,
right.
no one ever gets voted out.
That's right.
Instead, it's like once they get in there, now it's a career. They're not going to go back to their farm after their term.
That's right. That's right. The focus is on staying in power.
Yeah.
I think we're agreeing here, and that's not very good for the program.
Oh, I've never felt comfortable merging the words chill and relax.
Chillax?
Yeah.
You don't think those two things are related to one another?
No, I've never felt comfortable using that word.
Chill?
No, chillax. I didn't even like saying it.
Who feels comfortable using that word?
People it rolls right off people. People do it. They use it all the time.
Douchebags. Douchebags,
Okay.
dude.
Well, you never know. It could be somebody that you love.
I don't know. I think that you need to reevaluate.
And if that was the case, it wouldn't change my opinion of them. But
On a cold night, I like to drink Fireball.
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 It's what's for dinner.
A proud sponsor of Arguing with Tom and Jerry. I was thinking about something that's kind of been bothering me a little bit is the workload and the division of labor. And I'm a little bit upset. Actually, I'm being pretty conservative here. I'm pretty pissed off about the division of labor in Arguing with Tom and Jerry. I just want you to know that I'm not going to keep carrying you on my back, dude. On this, and if I have to keep editing and producing all of this material, pretty soon it's probably just going to be Arguing with Tom.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
We had a comment that I didn't read, and it was from a listener named Jason, and he said that Tom seems cool.
Yeah.
And he was saying the comment to me personally, like in a personal direct message.
Right.
He said, Tom seems really cool, and you seem like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like Tom seems like a pretty cool cat, and Jerry's like, why the fuck's this guy on the program?
Yeah.
And then to boot, if you were behind the scenes, it's like, why would Tom be doing all this work, making the creative content, developing it, editing it, producing it, promoting it on social media, and just keep dragging this other guy along, I mean, anyway, I just wanted to make sure that you understood my position on that.
So I used to be a maintenance man.
Okay.
For a school district. We would work inside the schools, and one of the stations where we would our shop would be stationed was in a high school. And a memo came out one day from the people, the office, to the maintenance shop, reminding us not to ogle the students or
Don't look.
ogle.
Don't look at the young people with passionate eyes.
They didn't want the maintenance guys roaming the halls and checking out the high school chicks. You know, they didn't. They didn't want a bunch of Matthew McConaughey's. How you doing? That kind of stuff. Yeah. But what ended up happening though is you ended up with a bunch of maintenance men, roaming the halls with their eyes closed and they moaning they can't see and stuff, and then you
Right.
got girls are screaming, and it turned out to be it was chaos.
They had no control. The only way that they were able to abide by the mandate was to close their eyes because they had no control over ogling
Things got way worse. It made it way worse. They should have just, I don't know what the answer is.
They're dumping over mop buckets. They're falling over ladders.
Screams and moans,
Yeah.
and it was crazy.
What's so wrong with the maintenance man like having a look at the teenage boy?
I wouldn't want. I've got girls of that age, and I wouldn't want some greasy maintenance guy jangling his keys around and yeah, get out. You're out of here.
Hey, I've got a really cozy
A van?
closet over
I've
here.
got a van.
Yeah, I've got a van out back.
Yeah.
Well,
So anyway, I thought that was. I don't know what the answer is there, but things got worse rather than better.
well, I think that the answer is that you were part of the maintenance person community, and I don't know.
You think it was one of those things where they sent the memo out to everyone, but really it was one person that was causing the problem, and you think that was me?
I wouldn't be surprised if that were actually what happened.
That's embarrassing.
It is
For
a
me.
little bit, but you gotta avert your gaze once in a while, man. You can't, you gotta learn how to do it. You can't just be like
So you got to be sneaky when you're
a
checking
little
out.
bit. You gotta kind of just be like this, like.
It seems wrong. I mean, it seems
wrong that you're hiding your true intentions.
I don't think they should do it.
You don't think you should have been doing that?
No, I didn't say I ever did it.
Yeah, well, obviously that
I saw the memo. Was what I saw. What my eyes saw was the memo
toward you. The memo
No,
that was directed.
it was just in the break room. It was like, guys, everyone read this memo.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all read it. Hey, I was going to say, where do you think the line is between confidence and arrogance? When does self-confidence
Fireball.
become unhealthy and become an arrogant problem, a negative?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not a fucking problem for me. All right?
That's why I'm asking you, because I figured you got it figured out.
Look, you don't want a bunch of unconfident people on your team, right?
Mm-mm.
You don't want a bunch of arrogant people on your team.
Mm-mm.
It's a dichotomy. You gotta know when to have confidence and when to have arrogance.
So you think sometimes you should employ arrogance on purpose?
I think so. I think arrogance is a great tool at times because it helps smash the other person. It's like, look, I know better than you know. I am better than you are.
Sit down and shut up.
All right, boy?
The adult is talking now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing. You're fortunate. You're fortunate to be alive. And the adults in the room are talking now.
And none of the things we gave you have come easy.
None of it came easy. It's because of my skill set that you were able to even be breathing this air. That would be on the arrogant side.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be on the arrogant side. The confident side would be like, I think we can get this done.
Okay, so is it confidence or arrogance to say it was a perfect phone call?
I
Is
think
that just
that is.
confidence?
I think that's arrogance.
How would you say it if it was just confidence?
I was pretty happy with that phone call.
Weak.
Right.
That's weak.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Don't know
Is that the end?
nothing.
Is that the end of this episode of Arguing?
You don't know nothing. You're fortunate to be alive.